Hi, everybody. We are back again with another Naked Spaghetti episode of us playing the Great Ace Attorney Chronicles. We are getting close to the trial. This has been a very long investigation, and Circus is not going to be with us tonight because of the whole tornado thing that happened in Kentucky. So, she's safe, just so everybody knows. So we are going to be, the three of us, me, Mooney, and Soph will be still here, and we are going to try to get through this investigation and then head for the trial when we get a chance.
Woo.
And I also got some new characters to be introduced in the trial that will probably be reminding you of two very memorable characters from a certain video game franchise. I'm not going to tell you which one it is, but just think of two very popular characters that you usually see together very often and are often comic relief.
Oh my gosh, Sonic? And Knuckles.
Not after the movie trailer, no. Alright, we're going back to prison. Ah, Gina. Good. You're back.
The police must have finished questioning her then.
How was it, Ginny? Was it awful?
Oh,
Oh, it didn't bother me.
Thank you for the papers you signed before. It meant we were able to investigate at Windy Banks.
Oh, right. Don't you want to know how we got on? We've been ever so busy. That's the point in asking. That changed what everyone's saying that I did it. That's no.
Gina, we came to ask for your final decision.
What decision?
About tomorrow's trial. Will you let me defend you or not?
I must submit the paperwork now if you'd like Mr. Naruhodo to represent you.
Aye, I see.
She's really lost her fight all of a sudden. But I know what that feels like. The worry is just so hard to bear. We found this in Mr. Windy Banks' storeroom. The manuscript of Iris's latest story.
Oh, right. But that's good then.
Curiously, the storeroom at Windy Banks showed no sign of being ransacked for items of value or the like. With one exception. The box file that housed this manuscript. It was you, wasn't it, Gina, who broke open the box containing this manuscript last night? You were determined to find out whether or not the Hound of the Baskervilles was really there. That's the real reason you broke into the storeroom last night, isn't it? Why don't you tell us what happened? Please?
Okay, hang on. I got my thing to work. I'm gonna go jump on the computer.
Oh, God. echoes everywhere. They're coming from
Echo,
all
echo,
sides.
echo.
They're coming from all sides.
Okay, I should be back now.
Alrighty.
Okay, or I can't really see this screen.
Oh.
Maybe it's probably gonna take it a while.
Alright.
There we go. Alright, yeah. The Baskerville story, it's his latest Shoals adventure, right? But it ain't been printed yet. So I figured it's gotta be worth a few pieces of silver, right?
Oh, yes. At least 5,000 pounds.
What?
So, you intended to sell Iris's manuscript, did you?
No. Ginny, how could you? What? Right! No, hang on. Of course I was gonna sell it. I wanted was to find out if the manuscript, whatever you call it, was there or not. That's why the only reason I was there in the first place.
For... Sorry. For Iris's sake. Isn't that right?
We knew why you'd done it from the start, Gina. Of course we did.
But I knew you wouldn't do anything mean like that, Ginny. I just knew it. Well,
When I saw the manuscript in the storeroom, it reminded me of what you said the night before.
grown-ups do a lot worse than that, believe me. Barefoot liars, a lot of them. You just ain't realized it yet. I'm telling you, that manuscript ain't at the Winty Banks. You'll see if you ought to look.
Oh, jeez, don't break our hopes and dreams like that.
If I'm honest, I've wondered if Haley's telling me the truth sometimes.
She is like the anti-Disney.
I mean, I sometimes wonder if he might have hidden my manuscript somewhere. Somewhere I don't know. Even though it was wrong of me to doubt him. Ah, Ginny, that was so sweet of you. Alright. I tell y'all what I did it. Just stop looking at me like that, Iris. It wasn't because of Iris. That's not why I did it. I just wanted to know the truth, that's all.
You wanted to know if Mr. Sholmes was being honest. If he'd really deposited the manuscript at Windybanks?
It's like I told you the night before. I never had a father. But others ain't like mine. She got a dad, only she can see him. And I reckon that's got to be harder. That's why she writes her stories. That's why it's about a dad, really. That's what it sounded like to me anyway. Last night when I was listening to what you were saying. Stories about Daddy?
You mean they're not the adventures of a great detective? So much as the adventures of a great detective and his trusty partner?
Well, that's all to say. Yeah. You're so thoughtful and so kind, Ginny.
Yes, and we never thought any differently, did we?
Look, give it a rest, will ya? I ate the chummy nonsense. I ate it. I don't trust no one, alright? That's all I would. Cause if you don't trust no one can lock you down. Leave me alone. Go on, Scupper.
I hadn't noticed until now, but it's unmistakable. Right there on both sleeves of that overcoat are some very suspicious red stains.
Ooh.
What? Why are you looking at me like that?
I think it might be worth presenting some of our other findings in that area to Gina now.
We already have the representation papers and other documents we need.
All we have to do is hand them to the court clerk. That is, if you'll allow me to represent you in court tomorrow.
Nah, don't bother. Ginny. Wrap 'em up and chuck 'em, would ya? Them representation papers or whatever they're called. This still ain't fancy enough to have 'em been.
So, what will you do in court tomorrow?
I'll be fine on my own. I don't think you will be. Look, it don't matter. What's gonna happen is gonna happen.
This is one stubborn pickpocket.
Oh, alright. Oh, alright then. Blimey, give me the best with my eyes, Iris. So come on then, fill us in. Who done it?
Unfortunately, we don't know that yet.
You don't say.
We don't know yet, Gina. But Mr. Naruhodo and all of us know that you are innocent of this crime.
And while we haven't yet managed to work out who the real culprit is, there are a number of interesting facts that we have managed to establish.
Oh yeah? Like what?
Well, for example, the reason for you being there in the first place. I think I know why you broke into Windy Banks that night. Those stains on the sleeves of your new coat, Gina. They're blood, aren't they? Not that I know whose blood yet.
Blood, Mr. Naruhodo?
You don't appear to have any obvious wounds yourself, though. So could it be blood that spattered from Mr. Windybank when he was shot last night?
Let's not beat around the bush here. This just defensive man will get results much faster than anything else. Eh? Take it easy, honest. Don't move, Ginny. I'm gonna shoot.
Damn it, Dale!
Oh. Oh my!
What the?
The-
Forget the sleeves.
The whole coat is covered in blood.
Of course. The black color of the fabric was making the stains, masking the stains. That's why we haven't seen them until now.
And the blood has reacted with the chemicals to turn a purple color, which matches one of the samples we've collected we've already collected perfectly.
Yes. Now let's see. Who had the purple blood? Aha, yes. It was that bookmaker, Mr. Mason, the victim of the murder case 2 months ago.
I knew it.
What? What are you on about? The victim? What do you mean?
It's a rather uncomfortable situation, Mr. Naruhodo, but I think this makes things quite clear. It means the omnibus case is finally solved. The truth about who really murdered the brickmaker, Mr. Mason, is revealed.
Oi! Would someone explain what's going on? Stop telling off the story.
Hello, it's me. We could see now that the victim's blood is all over Mr. McGildett's overcoat.
But in the trial 2 months ago, the defendant said this in his testimony.
No, I ask yous, what good-hearted soul wouldn't rush to help a fella bleating from his stomach? I wasn't about to start worrying about me gloves now, was I? I reached out to give the man a hand. But if you look at this overcoat now, it's clear. These stains couldn't have arisen from McGilded trying to pull the victim to his feet. No.
No, if that was what had really happened, the blood wouldn't have been splashed all over the front of the coat.
The only explanation for this pattern of blood is that it splattered all over McGilded's coat when he stabbed the victim in the stomach. I've tried to run from the truth for long enough, but there's no escaping it now. The true culprit in that case, Mr. Mason's killer, was Magnus McGilded.
Well then, Mr. Naruhodo.
That horrible case is solved at last. And I helped the man walk free from that trial. I used all that twisted testimony and all that sham evidence to prove his innocence. How could I have let that happen?
I mean, he burned alive, so...
And we still don't know who did that.
Udo, did you believe him though? Did you believe Mr. McGilded was innocent?
I believed, or rather, I think I was trying to believe. I wanted to. Because believing in those you represent in court is a defense lawyer's greatest weapon.
A weapon?
Before we came to Great Britain, a great friend of mine taught me a valuable lesson.
You mean Kazuma-sama?
Listen, Renosuke. We lawyers are only human. We can't know for sure what is the truth and what is a lie. which is why we must resort to our primary weapon. An unwavering belief in our clients. That's all we really have. Unwavering belief? Hi, Ghosty.
Okay, Ghosty.
Wait a minute, Kazuma's your beloved now, too? Hold on.
The slander. The disrespect.
Oh my goodness. Only when we truly believe what our clients tell us can we fight with everything we have for their cause. In any battle, there can be no victory without faith.
Oh, hi, Ghosty.
Of course, I know you love everyone, Ghosty. We
Yeah,
love you
do.
too.
We love you.
So I believe you unwaveringly.
Oh, feeling a lot better. My smell's mostly back. And my
Oh.
taste is back.
Well, that's good. Yeah, that's
Still,
definitely
I just
some
got a
things.
cough problem. Because I
Yeah.
haven't really talked that much over the past couple weeks.
The lingering effects are always still there.
Yeah.
What's funny, Gina?
Oh, sound like in this empire of Japan you come from, everyone must be soft.
Racist.
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
Rather
Well,
say with
come
the
on.
weenie hut
Look at the mess
juniors.
it's got you to believe in that bog trotter.
Yes, I inadvertently helped a murderer walk free.
Well, at least you learned your lesson now, eh? Believing in people it was never worth it. Someone always stops you in the back of the end. Soon as you let your guard down, you've had it. Take a leaf out of me book. Believe no one, get hurt by no one. Trust no one, not even yourself.
Not even Squidward's house. Gina, may I ask you something?
What?
I'd just like to make absolutely sure. What would you like us to do with these representation papers for tomorrow's trial?
Ghosty saying, she should know Britain ain't the best place ever. She lives in East London in the Victorian era, for Christ's sake.
How many times do I have to say it? Rip them up and chuck them away.
Are you really sure that's what you want?
I bet that's what he wants and all now. Mr. I'm a believer lawyer over there. Don't forget, it was me in that trial 2 months ago. I led everyone into the garden path, didn't I? And you're telling me you can believe me after all that? Not likely.
Well, Mr. Naruhodo,
A lawyer's primary weapon is an unwavering belief in his clients. Ultimately, it comes down to whether or not I feel I can trust Gina after everything that's happened. Gina, let me say it again. Please allow me to represent you in tomorrow's trial.
Eh? Oh yeah, half-baked?
Not at all. You've not once admitted to committing the crime, have you? What's more, I believe that you're telling me the truth.
Seriously, Mr. Narrow Olo? Didn't you? All of what I said before. I'm a born liar. Bibs just chip off me tongue, and I'm a diver, don't forget. I pulled the wool over your eyes 2 months ago, and I got you into all sorts of trouble. How would you ever trust me now? I just don't get it.
Gina, I do understand why you chose not to put your trust in others. But I assure you, there's more to this life than you yet realize.
What do you mean?
The world we live in is full of people who you would do very well to trust. People who won't ever let you down. Or run around and desert you.
It's true that I'm just a student of law, and I'm certainly lacking in courtroom experience. But I could promise you this. Whatever happens, and until my very last breath, I am completely on your side.
What do you expect me to say to that?
Oh, she swelled up, crying. Wait, Sasato Ashley? Oh, God. When your strangers to love.
Damn
You
it,
know
Coax.
the rules, and so do I.
God damn it.
And it's decided. I will take these papers now and carry out the necessary preparations for tomorrow's trial. It would be a shame to throw them away now after it's been penned with your name so beautifully.
Do what you like. You Eastern Lotto. I don't know what you are. I don't get you.
Okay, we're gonna work through the racism, okay? Just one day at a time.
I mean, hey, she keeps using that B word. Gotta stop that.
Gina's taken herself off to the back of her cell. She never admitted, but I hope she's feeling relieved. That turned out all right in the end, I think.
Elliot's eating his wet food.
Aw.
No num-nums. Whoever's hiding there. Oh gosh. Show yourself at
gosh.
once. Eavesdropping is the height of cowardice.
Miss
I love
Sasato?
Somebody is there in the shadows. I can sense it. Somebody who wasn't there before.
What? Blimey, you're sharp, eh?
Oh god.
I suppose you were using one of those mystic Japanese arts, like the art of stealth I've heard so much about. Like, not all of us are ninjas, sir.
I mean, hey, you probably smell like a fry factory. So,
Yeah. Oh.
He does, I mean.
If anyone was being stealthy, it was you, Inspector.
Pexie!
Oh, dear me, I'm most terribly sorry, your ladyship. I didn't mean to startle you.
How long have you been listening in on our conversation?
Oh, about 30 minutes? Good grief! Listen in, no. I just got
Right.
word that there was some visitors who were refusing to leave even though it was after hours. I assure you, your ladyship, I only just arrived. This very minute, not a moment earlier. That's all it is. Nothing untoward. Nothing at all. After hours? Is it that late already? So then, I humbly excuse myself now, your ladyship. Ta-ta! Toodaloo! Cheerio! All the best! Bye, bye, and bye! That's a lot of farewells, and not one of them appropriate for her ladyship.
I just wanted to have a chat.
I'm terribly sorry, but time is pressing at the minute.
Oh, I see. That's a shame.
If I don't get this emergency at the Supreme Court dealt with, Sharpest Lord Strongheart will, well...
Emergency?
Lord Strongheart? Nothing! Forget I said anything! Anyway, I'm off!
Alright, Grexy, if you have to. But let's chat soon.
Delighted! Charmed! Can't wait! If you please, my pleasure! That's a lot of pleasantries, and not one of them sounded sincere.
Grexy's so funny. He says such silly things.
Silly Gregson, chips are for kids. It's certainly entertaining to see an inspector of the police fawning to a 10-year-old girl.
Ghosty says, calm down, Mr. Chips. Jesus!
But anyway, I wonder what this emergency is at the Supreme Court.
I must attend the court clerk's office now before it closes.
Yes, of course. Thank you, Mrs. Sato.
Kindly escort Iris home now, Mr. Naruhodo. I shall meet you there later. And now I fade away like in a Microsoft slideshow.
And so our investigation came to an end. Sasato-san went to file the necessary papers for my defense of Gina the following day. And then it hit me. I could no longer suppress the wretched feeling that had been gnawing away at my insides. Tomorrow, Sasato-san would be leaving Britain and making her way back to Japan. No, don't MS Paint me out!
Naruhodo-san. It's been a very trying day, hasn't it? I do hope you're not too exhausted.
What about you, Sasato-san? Today has been even more trying for you, I'm sure. Mr. Sholmes was shot before our eyes. Gina was arrested. All on the back of the news that her father has fallen ill and that she must return to Japan at once. I hope your father recovers soon.
Thank you for your kind words. Hey, don't bite me.
Hey, Els.
I wonder why it is that so many thoughts rage in my head like a storm. And yet, I seem unable to find the words to express any of them.
I know exactly what you mean.
Anyway, I have one final task to complete as your judicial assistant. Once that is done, I shall make preparations for my departure tomorrow.
One final task?
Oh gosh, here we go.
It's just 2 months since we arrived in London. But we've managed to establish this office. It was finally feeling as though we were settling in. I would be lying if I said I felt no regret.
I'm so sorry, Sasato-san.
It's just so sudden. I really don't know what to think. I've had no time to gather my thoughts.
I know we've only been here a short time, but in my limited experience of the courtroom, I feel I've learned something.
And what would that be?
It seems to me there are many facets to people's personalities.
Facets?
And like a jewel, the light plays off them in complex patterns, illuminating their actions and their motives. But we only see a small number of the total facets, and what is illuminated is only a part of the whole story. What lies in the shadows? What do those facets we cannot see look like? Perhaps there are some parts we'll never lay eyes on for as long as we live. Sometimes I feel as though I'm blind to so much, but I keep hoping that one day it will all become clear.
I'll be back. I gotta go check up on my laundry.
Okay. That all the facets will be illuminated, and I'll finally understand how everything fits together.
Is it back on?
Yeah.
Naruhodo-san.
I suppose what matters is that we keep our eyes open and keep moving forward, even if the way sometimes seems dark.
It's amazing to think it's been just 2 months. You've grown so much.
Sorry, I've what?
Oh no, it was nothing. Unimportant.
Do you know what time you will leave London in the morning?
Yes, I picked up my ticket earlier. I shall be leaving here at 4 a.m. Dang.
Jeez. I don't even go on airplanes at 4 a.m. I see. Well, I'll escort you to the station.
Absolutely not.
Sorry?
I'm sure you realize why he couldn't possibly let you do that. You have a very important day ahead of you tomorrow.
Gina's trial. Yes, I know, but...
Every word you utter will have the potential to determine Gina's fate. You must get as much rest as possible. Even though, like me, I'm sure you'll find it hard to sleep. But please, for me, do try. What is it, Elliot?
You mentioned one final task a moment ago. What did you mean?
Oh my, I nearly forgot. Please, I want you to have this.
What is that? Some huge bundle of documents.
It's my notes from the case 2 months ago. The murder that was committed on the omnibus.
The McGilded case.
It seems to me that this case of Mr. Winnybig's murder, of which Gina is accused, is very much tied up with that omnibus case in ways that are not yet completely apparent. So I took the liberty of consolidating my writings about the case for you.
With everything else she's had to think about, Sasato-san still managed to do this, and all neatly laid out for me in her beautiful handwriting.
It was my pleasure. I can only hope that it will bolster your case tomorrow for Gina.
Thank you so much, Sasato-san. I will do my best to use it wisely. You really are the best judicial assistant in the world.
Well, that's extremely flattering. But I'm sorry to say that I've been a complete failure.
Sorry? I didn't quite catch what you said there.
Oh, ignore me. I was just mumbling to myself. on, Elliot. Well, it's getting rather late. I think you should go to bed now, Naruhodo-san. I must finish packing up my things in my room.
Sasato-san,
I wish you the very best of luck tomorrow. Good night.
Wait! There's something I need to say.
Yeah.
Whoa!
Whoa!
What-
Okay,
what
what the
was-
hell just happened?
What was that?
A secret technique of mine. The Susato shutdown.
Shut down?
Oh, Lord.
Please, I implore you. If we have to force our goodbyes, I won't be able to hold back my tears.
Well, I guess I'm sleeping here tonight. Sasato-san. It truly had been a trying day. On our feet for hours, getting Gina to open up to us, and learning the truth about that nemesis of a case. Physically and mentally, I was exhausted.
Don't
And yet-
slap me.
And yet the idea of sleep seemed impossible. But I forced myself to close my eyes. And as a cacophony of senses of our lives here in London played through my mind, eventually, my fatigue triumphed, and I fell into a deep sleep.
Goddamn wind.
Yes,
And
I
in case
quite
anybody's-
understand.
And in case anybody's wondering, yes, it's very windy outside where I'm at.
Oof.
Just like huge gusts of wind.
Kind of like what happened during the weekend.
Yep.
That is a great weight
we
off
ha-
my mind.
It's almost like those really hot summers. Eh?
Rest assured, I shall put everything in place exactly as we have discussed.
Thank you so much. It has been an honor to be, and a pleasure to be acquainted to you, Mr. Schultz. Who the fuck is talking here?
On the contrary, the pleasure has been mine. I bid you farewell and Godspeed. My dear madam.
Oh, what?
Oh.
Excuse me.
Yeah.
Excuse me. Does someone need to have a seat?
What the fuck just happened?
She went to go see him at the hospital
Oh.
before she left. You know, just simple goodbyes. All right, now we're in the trial.
Okay, now that's some.
When I
I'm just as confused as you right now.
And yes, he's okay. Yes, that's right, Ghosty. Because I know she was worried that he was going to die. When I awoke the following morning, Sasato-san was already gone. Outside the window, the rain came down in sheets. And so began an even longer day than the last, one that I would remember for the rest of my days. Good morning, Gina. I'm determined to prove your innocence today. I'm sure we can do it.
So where's your fan then?
Sorry?
You know, the fancy dress. Cisato and whatever it is, I don't know.
Ah, Mrs. Sato had to leave early this morning. She was already gone by the time I woke up.
You're over that, are you? Forget about me if you like. Go and see her off.
It's fine. She threw me on the ground last night. It's not as though Mrs. Sato and I won't meet again one day.
Unless you got on the cursed ship.
Oh God,
God damn it.
the curse of the Black Pearl. But you, Gina, you only get one chance. This trial today is all we have. Good morning, you two!
How are you feeling, Ginny? Did you manage to sleep? Alice! What are you doing here? What do you mean? When a fan is in need, we show our support. Isn't that right, Waggy?
I was brought here against my will. Ah!
Waggy!
Great way to show your support, Kitty.
He's here for the food.
Leave him with those around. What Orm's gonna do?
God, where did this cat get into the prosecution's bench?
Right now, I'm imagining
Oh,
the
that
cat
reminds
being
me.
there
I brought the
outside.
paper on the way here. Now, would you like the good news or the bad news? What do you say, Uno? Ginny?
Oh, well, I think I'd rather get the bad news out of the way first.
Nah, always taking the good news first. You might not live to hear the bad. Yes, that question always gives away people's personalities.
Let's not go there.
Alright then, I'll give you the bad news first. A record amount of rain has fallen this morning, and carriages all over the capital are struggling to move.
Huh? The bad news was a weather report? And no, not the stand.
I was just about to say that.
So I hope that Susie made her train to the Dover and that the train isn't delayed on its way to the port.
You know, it would have been funny if the newspaper said it was raining poison frogs. Gosh, yes.
Even Miyanesuke wanted to see, like, poison frogs falling from the sky. Alright then.
Alright, so what's the good news? Well, the forecast to subside this afternoon. So even if the train is delayed, it should be able to make up the time later. Well, that is the good news, isn't it? I could give a monkeys really. I could give a monkeys really. It's like
If
a
o-
good time. I don't give a rat's ass, but that's.
We
Sorry
can't
about
we can't say that in this game.
Oh, okay. You can use a slur against Irish people, but can't say ass.
Yes.
Great logic, Capcom. Great logic.
If only all good news canceled out the bad.
And look, the trial has made the headlines too. Pawnbroker perishes in pick purse plunder. See?
Jeez, the alliteration in that one.
How do you like that? Well, let them say what they want. See it back here.
I can't, because you're covering your face.
Don't worry. Bruno will show everyone that this headline is nonsense.
I will?
And then, in Pet Moore's papers, the headlines will be... Discharged diver is dauntless do-gooder. Isn't that right, Bruno?
Oh, yes. Let's hope so.
Of course they will. I have absolute faith in you. How was that? I was trying to sound like Susie. Did it work? Did it?
It's like she was still here.
Good luck then, Bruno. I'll do what I can.
Hmm?
Obviously, I don't know the law like Susie does, but still. I'll be by your side the whole time, giving you more support and encouragement.
I'm not sure that big thing is as comforting as you think it is, to be honest, but... Thank you, Iris. That's very kind of you.
Oh yeah, Iris? Yes, Ginny? I was wondering is all. About Sholmes. Did they fix him up alright? Yes. The operation was a great success. But... Harry still hasn't come around yet. Eh? I've asked a friend of mine at Scotland Yard to send a telegram as soon as he wakes up.
I'm sure Gregson will let us know the moment there's news.
Ah, right.
No Sasato-san and no Mr. Sholmes. It's all down to me today, to prove that Gina is innocent of this crime.
Miss Gina Lestrade, counsel for the defense. The trial's about to begin.
Please make your way into the courtroom.
It's time then.
Yes, let's go, Gina. Iris.
Lead the way, Bruno.
Poor Gina. She's trying to put on a brave face, but I could tell she's worried and scared. I have to believe in her from start to finish. That's the weapon that will secure our victory here. If I learned anything from my great friend, it's that.
In the name of Her Majesty the Queen, I hereby declare this court to be in session. This trial shall determine the guilt or innocence of Miss Gina Lestrade. I now call upon the counsels for the prosecution and defense to declare their willingness to proceed.
God damn it.
The prosecution is ready. The defense is ready.
Lord Van Zeeks,
My lord.
remind me, how many years ago was it that you withdrew from the public prosecution service?
It was some 5 years ago, my lord.
Yes, and then 2 months ago you resurfaced somewhat unexpectedly, and here you are again today. Are there some circumstances of which the court should be aware that have led to this erratic behavior? In what might describe as your former life 5 years past, you dealt exclusively in the matters concerned with the higher echelons of society and government.
Really?
Yet today you choose to try a simple case of burglary and murder. I confess I find it more than a little befuddling, counsel. There are two types of person I cannot abide. Firstly, those
And
wealthy
what?
scoundrels who hide behind a mask of philanthropy to cheat the public at large.
He means Mr. McGilded, who you defended against the Reaper 2 months ago.
Yes, I just about managed to work that out. Thank you. Magnus McGilded. If I'd known what a monster he was, I never would have defended him. And secondly, even more lonesome. Those wily scoundrels who masquerade as allies, only to effect total betrayal in the final hour. In other words, the confidence tricksters from those tiny islands in the Far East. The Nipponese.
That's racist, Your Honor.
That's racist.
What? Did
They just teleport behind him and chase him down.
That's racist!
Yeah, kill him, Nosuke. Go get his ass.
What? Did he really just say that?
It means you, Uno.
I actually managed to work that out too. Thank you, Iris.
Ooh, Elliot's getting in on the throwdown.
Total... Total betrayal? What are you talking about? That torrid look of hatred in Lord Van Zeek's eyes. Was that directed solely at me? Or was he talking about all Japanese people? An alarmingly scathing explanation, Lord Van Zeeks. Still, the judiciary welcomes the return of the so-called Reaper of the Bailey, feared by all London's malefactors. Your lordship is too kind. Now, jurors, the 6 of you have been selected at random to represent the will of the people in this trial. Are you ready to hear the evidence placed before you and determine the guilt or innocence of the defendant? Former lieutenant in the British Army here. Don't you know? Chaps like me were born ready.
Clean crockery, clean cutlery, and a clean conscience. His lordship's motto is very appropriate here, I think.
Everything will be stereoscopic in the future. Absolutely, absolutely everything. And I'm ready for it.
I don't understand it. I can't have left it in there. It's not possible. But could I have?
Woman indispensable in society. Stop. Female-centric future awaits. Stop.
Good day. I am visiting London for sightseeing. I would like to take bus to Crystal Tower, please.
Wait, what? Wait, what?
Is something wrong, Bruno?
Oh, not exactly. It's
Isn't
just...
that the same guy that was sus from the last chapter? The one that, with Nikolina Pavlova?
Oh, that was the second case. On the boat. Yeah.
No, I'm talking about juror number 6, yo.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah, that's from the boat case, when we were on the boat. I'm fairly sure I recognize these jurors. Almost all of them, in fact.
Really? Funny coincidences like that do happen from time to time, don't they? It is quite strange. The jurors are chosen at random from London's 6 million inhabitants, you know?
So I've been led to believe, but something tells me I'm being duped.
Very well. Now, Lord Van Zeeks, the court calls upon the prosecution to introduce the facts of the case. As you wish, my lord. Allow me to begin with a word of warning to the ladies and gentlemen of the jury. In short, there has never been a more self-evident case of cold-blooded murder. The victim, Mr. Pop Windybank, proprietor of a pawn shop on Baker Street, was shot from behind and died instantly.
The prosecution presents this photographic print of the crime scene. As the court will observe, there is a single bullet wound just below the gentleman's left shoulder. I think Juror 5, Sylph.
Oh, okay.
The evidence suggests that the bullet pierced the man's heart, resulting in near-instant death. Moving on to the findings of Scotland Yard's coroner. His report states that the bullet entered the body on a rising diagonal trajectory. And what's that supposed to tell us? It means the victim was likely shot by someone significantly shorter in height than himself. Someone like the accused, you might say.
Oh,
The prosecution wishes to present the autopsy report and crime scene photograph as evidence, my lord.
Indeed, the court accepts. Hand them to the bailiff, please.
Sorry, Sylph. I just filled in until you came back with number 5.
Oh no, it's fine. I had to quickly just give Elliot his food because I forgot about his wet food.
Okay.
Yeah, he likes his salmon.
That's fine.
I now ask the court to turn its attention to this plan of the establishment where the incident occurred. The proprietor was found in the storeroom where he kept articles pawned to them. A windowless room with a single point of entry. A door to the main shop that was found locked. In this sealed chamber, there were only 2 persons present. The victim, Mr. Windybank, and the accused. It may further interest the court to know that when the accused was discovered at the scene, she had in her hand the gun used to fire the fatal bullet. Oh god, bullets of sweat everywhere. We can't jump to conclusions here. We mustn't assume her guilt because of what she has to do to survive.
Something like Mr. Richie Wineblood over here wouldn't get. Friggin' silver spoon up his ass. Oh wait, no, sorry. Gold spoon gilded with diamonds.
That's gonna be
Blood
painful.
diamonds.
My learned...
He's gonna have blood. He's gonna be really bleeding up there if you know what I'm getting at.
My learned Nipponese friend. It is you who mustn't jump to conclusions. The prosecution has barely begun presenting its case. Conveniently, this appalling act of murder did not go unobserved. There were witnesses.
Good gracious!
After their testimony, this girl's true nature will be exposed. Pitiful pick purse or cold-hearted killer. Here's to establishing the truth.
I don't know. You're looking kind of sus right now.
The court will take the floor plan and firearm into evidence. Hand them to the bailiff, please, Lord Van Zeeks.
At once, my lord.
Ghosty's still saying I still need a replica of Van Zeeks' goblet.
Yes, because she's going to drink the wine in there. This isn't good.
I feel like the mood in here has turned very gloomy all of a sudden, Uno.
I think that's because it has. Oh, we're already going final boss mode.
Oh, damn.
Let us begin.
That has
Bring-
the same energy as, crap, who was it that wore the weighted clothing? in that one anime. It just took it off and it left a dent on the floor.
I don't know.
Is it Kill a Kill? I
Maybe?
can't tell if it's Kill a Kill.
I don't know.
I mean, that anime is very fan servicey. I mean, hell, they had like something like Nudist Beach.
Bring forth the witnesses to the foul murder of Mr. Pop Windybank on 16th April of this year.
As opposed to death last year.
What the?
Witnesses, state your names and occupation for the court.
Name's Nash Skulkin. Occupation is, baddie. Professional baddie. Name's Ringo Skulkin. Occupation's, same as him.
Tobias Gregson, Scotland Yard Inspector.
That's right. We're what they call
The Three Skulkin Brothers!
What?
What?
Look at that chin, oh my gosh.
What are you looking at me like that for? Don't let me in with you lot.
God blimey, that's cold. Don't you know what you're going for?
It's our older bruv. Lost contact with him we have. So we're scouring every shady corner of the capital.
And then that last night we came across you. The very spit of the bloke. Ain't that right, Ringo?
He is Nash, he is. The very spit of him.
So we decided there was gonna do. We was gonna call ya.
Big bruv Skulky. Come on, leave it out, you two.
Skulky Skulkin? And that's before he's run out of chips.
Well then, Inspector Sulky Gregson.
Begging your pardon, my lord, but the name's Tobias.
What I would like to know, Inspector, is what you are doing in the witness stand.
The Skulkin brothers are currently under arrest, my lord, on suspicion of theft.
Thieves, are they? These three?
No, my lord, begging your pardon, but please don't let me in with this lot. 2 nights ago, these two brothers illegally entered an establishment with intent to burgle. And in the course of their nefarious activities, they become embroiled in a far more sinister crime.
By Jove! You mean to say, what an extraordinary coincidence!
Rosie says, I think I remember what you told me about these guys, Joey.
Indeed, my lord. While attempting to burglarize the pawnbrokery, they witnessed its proprietor's murder.
Order! Order!
The various trespasses of these brothers is not the subject of today's proceedings, though they will naturally face trial in the very near future. With your lordship's permission, I'd like to remain in the stand to keep these gents on the straight and narrow.
Like the teacher watching the 2 kids who got in trouble.
Of course, Inspector. Skeptical as I am about the calibre of these witnesses, I will permit them to take the stand.
Mr. and Mr. Skulkin, you will now testify before the court. Describe the events of the night in question and what exactly you saw.
Happy to.
'Cause a skulkin's never skulkin'. Get out of it. Tobias Gregson.
We was walking down Baker Street in the small hours, and the gaff store was ajar, see?
It was like some kind of sign, begging for us to go in, it was.
But once we got inside, go by me, Loomy. We heard a gunshot from the back room.
We went to see what was what, but the door was locked from the inside.
We never done nothing, Governor. We never done nothing. We just left after that, nice and quiet.
A terrible coincidence, it would seem. At the precise moment these miscreants entered the property, an even more sinister crime was afoot. The witness's testimony is consistent with the crime scene in every detail. The door providing access to the storeroom from the main shop was indeed locked from the inside, and within, only the victim and the accused were found. I must say, it does appear to be an overwhelmingly simple case. Still, the defense may cross-examine the witnesses now. Of course. Counsel, if you please. Counsel?
Yes.
What's the matter, Una?
Sorry, I was just stunned into silence for a minute by the blatant lies being told by that pair in the stand. I know that it's all nonsense, because I saw it with my own eyes. I'll just have to expose their testimony for the pack of lies it is. You didn't do or take anything? Is that your story?
Well, it was Beldam soon as, weren't it?
It was, Nash, it was. Didn't even have time to pull me dukes out me Lucy lockets.
So with no time to take your hands out of your pockets, you just left nice and quietly, you say?
That's right, Governor. Nothing we hate more than violence. Peace-loving nimble as we are, not bludgers.
We are, Nash, we are. Never even pulled me dukes out me Lucy lockets.
So, you clearly like us to believe,
Eh? Come again?
as you fled from the pawnbrokers that night, did you not run into anyone else? And did you not fire a gun at that person?
Saints alive, they fired a gun, you say?
Right! Blimey, Governor.
You ain't telling us it was you in the doorway?
It was.
Why the bleeding Nora?
Didn't you mention that before?
You were armed with a gun. And as you fled the scene, you fired that gun at London's greatest detective, Herlock Sholmes. On the night in question, this pair were arrested by the police within minutes of the discovery of the crime scene. Their suspicious countenance rapidly gave them away. And when searched, a firearm was indeed found in their possession. Furthermore, the barrel showed signs of a shot having been fired from it. The prosecution invites his lordship to examine the firearm recovered from these brothers. Yes, indeed. Remnants of powder around the muzzle, as you say, counsel. The court will hold this weapon as evidence. Now, my learned Nipponese friend. Yes?
Here's to you successfully presenting the evidence. For yes, there are telltale signs of spent powder on this gun, and a single bullet missing from the cylinder. But the prosecution demands evidence that it was fired at the scene of the crime under scrutiny in this trial.
Well, I don't need evidence. Because I was there.
However, the rest of us in this courtroom were not. If the defense fails to provide evidence in support of its rash claim, we shall have no choice but to toast your incompetence and move on.
Evidence that these two fired that gun before they left Windy Banks that night.
The court demands that all claims are affirmed with clear proof. What evidence shows that these witnesses unloaded a firearm in the pawnbroker's shop that night?
The evidence is in this portfolio.
What? What on earth have you there, counsel?
During the course of our investigations, we discovered a number of bloodstains.
Not trusting the police to do their job they're trained to do? How arrogantly Nipponese of you.
Racist, Your Honor.
Well, anyway, we analyzed all the blood samples we found and recorded the results in this portfolio.
And you claim to have the evidence the court is demanding therein?
Yes, my lord.
So, were you just making a reference to that Family Guy episode with Adam West?
Yes. And the one cat that had a human name.
Paul.
Oh.
I actually have that episode on DVD.
Then again, at least the cat's name isn't Jorts. Jean Shorts.
Oh god, yeah, that was trending this morning.
And yesterday.
Yeah.
Oh, but I love that cat, though. He's a little dummy, but he's a lovable dummy.
No more dallying then, counsel. Present the pertinent evidence at once. What do you have in your portfolio that proves these witnesses unloaded a firearm at the scene?
Take that!
What is that? Explain.
It's a photographic print taken at Windy Banks pawnbrokery of the day of the incident.
From the scene of the crime, is it? Is that a bullet hole? And if my eyes do not deceive me, it appears the bullet is still lodged there.
Yes, as your lordship noticed. The bullet pierced Mr. Windy Banks' calendar. The date shown being the 16th of April, the very day of the pawnbroker's death.
The incident occurred at 1 hour after midnight. But this indicates that a separate shot had been fired sometime after the calendar had been set to the 16th.
That's right. And while it isn't irrefutable, the defense believes this is credible evidence that the witnesses did fire a round from their gun in the pawnbrokers that night.
Nah!
Oh my gosh, one of them's on a crate.
Yeah.
I mean, what can I do at that point? I'm not like my brother. He got the good genes in the family.
Ew, he got the short end of the deal, Ace here.
Order! How does the prosecution stand, Lord Van Zeeks?
Pulling an Abacchio, I see.
If that is the direction my learned friend wishes to take, the prosecution has no objection.
What?
Elliot.
Whoa!
But you'll forgive me for flinging my hallowed chalice aside in disgust at the repugnancy it exposes.
How many of those things did you break already, dude?
How many
There's a
slices?
closet full of them.
How many slices of bread have you eaten in your lifetime?
Fuck.
Damn.
Don't try and bite me.
Yes. On the night in question, these brothers entered the pawnbrokery illegally. And like the bold baddies they claim to be, opened fire on the new arrivals before fleeing back onto the street.
Eh! Take it easy there, Governor. You're gonna land us in the soup.
We had a deal. You weren't gonna get into them details. Tell him, Skulky. Set the bloke straight.
I have nothing to add.
So he knew, did he? Van Zeeks knew their testimony would almost certainly expose the extent of their crimes. It would seem now that I owe my learned Nipponese friend a word of gratitude. What do you mean? What I mean is that you have helpfully confirmed an important fact. To what fact do you refer, Lord Van Zeeks? As has been established at the point of their arrest, a single shot had been fired from the brothers' gun. However, if that shot found its target in Mr. Sholmes, then clearly these witnesses cannot be accused of the fatal shooting of the proprietor and victim.
Ah!
In other words, these two men have no material connection to the murder of Mr. Windybank at all. So that's it.
What the heck are they doing?
They're doing
Playing
the
patty
JoJo.
cake?
They're doing the JoJo handshake from Part 3.
Oh, God.
That's it. We didn't have nothing to do with it.
We didn't, Ash. We didn't. That's what I reckon.
Your crimes include unlawful entry, intent to steal, perjury, and let us not forget, attempted murder.
Quite a catalog, eh, fellas?
Eh.
We're in for it now, bruv.
Now then, let us take a moment to consider the aforementioned great detective, Mr. Herlock Sholmes. It would seem the man patronized the pawnbrokers in question somewhat regularly. Where is he going with this?
Oh no.
Mr. Sholmes appears to take pleasure in tinkering with eccentric machinery.
Eccentric says who?
Not me. Don't give me that look. He installed a pair of machines like this one in the victim's shop.
Oh! That's one of Haley's red-handed recorders.
What is that, Counsel? It has the appearance of a photographic contraption. As your lordship has surmised, it is indeed a camera attached to a small timing device. Every half an hour, it automatically photographs the interior of the establishment. The idea being that if a thief were to break into the shop, he would be caught red-handed. The prosecution has obtained the photographs taken by the device on the night in question.
Jesus is gonna be a long day.
As the court will observe, copious identical prints are produced in a quite distillery fashion. Rather prodigal, I feel. In fact, there are 2 such devices in the victim's shop, my lord. If I may refer the court to the plan of the premises, their respective positions are here and here. You say these cameras produce a print every half hour. I'm afraid I fail to see how that would help if the anticipated thief conducted his activities in one of the many 30-minute intervals. One can only pray that the would-be criminal lingers, my lord. On the night in question, the witnesses currently in the stand were not caught on camera.
That's a bit of friar tuck, eh, bruv?
Lady Luck loves a skulking.
Witnesses, at what time did your trespassing begin?
Must have been just after 1, right, bruv?
Must have been, Nash. Must have been. Yeah, just gone 1.
In which case, minutes before these brothers entered the establishment, what scene might we expect to see within the shop? Let us examine the evidence. Good Lord! It's the defendant! Miss Gina Lestrade! As the court can clearly see, the accused is pictured, gun in hand, facing the victim over the shop counter, no doubt coercing the proprietor to open the door to his storeroom. Quite! One could only too easily imagine the events that unfolded. The court will take this photograph print as evidence, if you please, counsel.
I don't believe it. Jenny.
In short, the accused is the only person who could have possibly have killed Mr. Windybank. Ah! Ow.
Ouch.
I say, my lord.
Wonder if I might put in a word at this point. Go ahead, Mr. Foreman. Took a bully bullet to the knee in the Battle of Maywa, 1980, don't you know? Decorated for it and all that, but forced to retire from service, sadly. Of course, a medal can never outshine the exploits of chaps like us on the battlefield. Yes, Mr. Foreman, and what exactly is your point? Carried on the battle after retirement, you see. The battle of daily life, if you like. And here I am now, leading this small squadron. 6 men, all good and true. And we'll all go down together, you mark my words. One for all, and all for one.
Huzzah.
Huzzah. What are we getting at?
The ladies and gentlemen of the jury have reached agreement, have they? Is that what we are to understand? Well, Mr. Foreman, is that correct? In a matter of speaking, yes. That is the Garadeb Squadron's position, sir. What? No, it's too soon to make a judgment here. Status report for the court, men, on the double.
His lordship insists on promptitude at all times, and that goes for making decisions too.
I think you'll find the truth is as clear as day now. I could reach out and touch it.
I wouldn't have left it in there. I just wouldn't. But in all honesty, I can't actually remember.
And this one, I'm her, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Situation clear. Stop. No room for doubt. Stop. Truth now undeniable. Stop.
I am very sorry for brothers. They are unlucky. Very well. I now call upon each member of the jury to state his or her leaning in this matter. Announce your considerable verdicts to the court.
Guilty.
Guilty.
Guilty. Guilty.
Guilty.
Guilty.
Ooh, poor old man fell over.
No, I think he purposely did that.
Yep.
Yeah.
Because, you know, he's got the gloves on so he can't use his hands.
Wait a minute, he headbutted the thing?
Yeah, he headbutted the button.
Oh my
Ouch.
gosh.
And he's a doctor too. I noticed his garb is different.
Yeah, he's a doctor who doesn't like to get his hands dirty.
Ooh. That is not a good combination.
A germophobic doctor?
Yes.
That's like saying you're a vet, but like you have
Allergies?
no, well maybe that too, but like you're scared of a certain breed of dog.
Or cat?
Okay.
It does appear that the jury is unanimous. It's leaning already. That photograph. Look at this photograph.
That was perfect.
I know. We had the perfect sync again. It must be the definitive evidence that Gregson mentioned.
But Ginny didn't shoot him.
No, of course not. My lord, the defense wishes to assert its right to a summation examination. Very well. The court grants permission. So, you refuse to admit defeat again. How unsurprising. We shall proceed immediately with the summation examination. Mr. Foreman, are all members of the jury ready?
Absolutely, sir. Always ready for action, my chaps.
Very good. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, you will each explain on what grounds you have determined the defendant to be guilty. All the evidence clearly points the finger of guilt at this young pickpocketine.
As a housemaid, I should like to see all filthy eyesores promptly and vigorously eliminated.
I think you'll find that if you look at that photograph in stereo, the truth will just pop out.
If I have left it in there, I should think there will be repercussions by now.
Mind made up. Stop. Global radio transmission of verdict to follow. Stop. I lost the fish. Stop. Sorry, I'm also multitasking here.
In Motherland, we never say judge by clothes, judge by head. I am convinced brothers are innocent.
He has a freaking. He's petting a mouse.
That's right.
That's
I have a dormouse as pet. I read Alice's Adventures in Wonderland. It is my favorite book.
Please tell me that the mouse is named Cheddar or Squeakers.
I gave the name Chester to him. Twinkle, twinkle, little dat, how I wonder where you're at. Up above the world so high, like a D-tray in the sky. The circumstances of the crime and the evidence do indeed implicate the defendant rather comprehensively. The storeroom, locked from the inside, in which the victim and the accused were discovered alone. And in the accused's hand, the fatal revolver, the firing of which was heard by these witnesses. Not to mention, this print. Take it from a chap who's seen action on the battlefield. That young girl's on the verge of pulling the bully trigger. Thanks a lot, Mr. Sholmes.
Oh dear. All these commas were supposed to help, not hinder.
As they say, what is Newton's fourth law of thermodynamics? No good deed goes unpunished.
Pretty freaking much.
I'm afraid I think you have an uphill struggle ahead of you.
You don't say, Judge.
No shit, Sherlock. But Gina didn't shoot Mr. Windybank.
You mean no shit, Sholmes?
Yes. Oh, I forgot. We can't say it. It's copyrighted. Which means there's more to this.
Selectively copyrighted for some reason.
Yeah, because in America, they couldn't get away with it. Apparently, Japan does better with their copyrights better than America does. Which means there's more to this situation than we've yet to see.
Agreed.
You have the floor, counsel. Proceed with the summation examination.
I'll be in the background over here.
Yeah, have a good time.
Oh.
Polishing the bench, I see. Again.
Yeah, and what of it?
A maid's work is never done. Not a blemish must remain.
What exactly do you mean by filthy eyesores?
On my way to market for his lordship, I have to pass through the East End.
The place is full of beggars, pickpurses, and crossmen, the scum of the earth.
A little harsh, perhaps?
Let me be plain.
Okay, Plain Jane.
Well, I'll take that katana up your ass if you don't shut it.
Well, I'm not into your BDSM fantasies, ma'am.
Keep your revenge away from me. Wait, has anyone seen that dub, the Sonic dub?
No.
Darn.
Excuse me.
If it were up to me, all those back slums would be made spick and span or eradicated. At least we have people like the great detective working to achieve these important goals.
You're referring to Mr. Herlock Sholmes?
That's right. I like to keep abreast of his exploits by reading Rand's magazine in between my duties. He does wonders cleaning up London streets. In my opinion, he should be declared an honorary maid of the capital.
Okay, that's kind of out there.
Mr. Sholmes? A maid?
It's really quite unforgivable. Got a scum having the audacity to shoot our very greatest detective.
Minor detail, it was the two brothers in the stand who shot Mr. Sholmes, not the defendant.
A minor detail indeed. They're all gutter scum as far as I'm concerned.
Wah!
Well,
Easy there, Waluigi.
it just might be an idea to get our facts straight anyway.
Yes, all right. I shall amend my statement. Those brothers are the scum of the earth, and they should swing for shooting the great detective.
Objection!
These two statements clearly contradict each other.
Good lord! Counsel, explain yourself.
Oh, my statement? Contradictory?
Contradict. C-O-N. Juror number 6, you've got the wrong end of the stick. I do not have stick. I have mouse. As juror number 2 said earlier, when the Skulkin brothers fled the scene on the night in question, they fired a shot from their revolver.
Yes, they shot poor Mr. Sholmes in the abdomen, I understand.
Bless,
Bless
you.
you. Again, we're in sync with that. Surely you're not going to tell the court now that you didn't hear. Abdomen, abdomen, A-B-D. Sir? Sorry, my English is still learning. You are telling the court you didn't hear? Forgive me, I did not hear. Ugh.
Ah, here is word. Abdomen. Part of person's body containing stomach and other vital organs. If this is what you mean, you should say in plain English, I am Russian, not a native speaker. Who thought it was a good idea to let this man be on the jury again? So, you are telling me these brothers who look like criminals were lying? They said before we never done nothing, but truth is, they shot detective. Duh, this is double negative. Yes, that's exactly right. Lying is wrong, especially when lie is said by person who looks like criminal.
Sir, put the mouse down.
I can't breathe! Get Amy away from me!
Coming from you, that seems surprisingly prejudiced. This means, when they said we never took nothing, maybe it was also big fat lie. Is this true? Well, according to the police report, no stolen goods were found, so... Enough. I trust no one now.
Trust no one, not even yourself.
Not even Squidward's house.
It's not the mouse's fault, though, sir.
Yeah! You tell him!
I see. I must see with my own eyes. I must investigate crime scene myself.
You're in the trial, the courtroom, dude.
I'm afraid that's not possible.
Yes, it is, Runo. Easily.
Sorry?
With the prints from Haley's red-handed recorder.
Ah.
If you compare the pictures, Ginny, and the next print from a half hour later, you'll be able to see straight away if anything was taken or not. Go, Mr. Prosecutor.
Tut tut. Calling on the prosecution in the middle of a summation examination of all times. The print showing the accused threatening the victim after she broke into the shop is this one. Following this, the victim and the accused moved into the storeroom. Meanwhile, the Skulkin brothers entered the shop and summarily heard the fatal gunshot ring out. Sadly, none of these events were captured on film. This is the print produced by the camera half an hour later, after the brothers' flight.
This was taken after Haley was shot then. As far as I could tell, nothing has been taken.
That does seem to be the case. I can't notice anything that's obviously missing in the second print. So, the brothers who look like criminals only told one lie. They shot man, but they stole nothing. It would seem so, yes. Good. No, not good. You were right. I did not understood situation. Now I know brothers have lied. I think it is very important to continue with trial.
Well, we got one down.
Yay! Well done, Runo. The balance is shifting.
Well, it's a start, I suppose. But there must be more in what these jurors are saying that I could use to expose the truth. And if I could do that, we just might turn the situation to our favor still. Thank you, counsel. Continue with the summation examination. And kindly hand that new photographic print to the bailiff to be filed as evidence. Another print in the court record. I wonder if we can make use of that.
if I can't change the minds of more than half of these 6 jurors, the trial will be over.
But we know that Ginny would never shoot anyone.
Yes, so we need to find contradictions in what these jurors are saying and pit them against each other. I must be ready to go to whatever lengths I have to convince them of Gina's innocence. Sorry, radio transmission? What do you mean?
Are you from the Far East? Stop.
Yes, from the Empire of Japan.
All communication of the Far Eastern nations used to take place by mail. Royal Mail steamers take more than a month to complete the journey.
Ah, but we now have the electric telegram, so we can send messages using electrical signals. Thousands of miles of cables have been laid along the ocean beds, connecting the entire world.
Thousands of miles of cable on the ocean bed? It makes my head hurt just thinking about it.
You are well informed, young lady. But cables will soon become a thing of the past. Stop.
And just when I was starting to catch up.
Radio transmission is the future. Stop. Messages carried over airwaves to 4 corners of the globe. Stop. Excitement growing. Stop. Atmosphere electric. Stop.
Right. Try not to wear out your fingers.
I don't tell you how to live your life. Stop. Everything stop. Driving technological revolution. Stop. And people say inventions like the stereoscope are the height of technology. What utter piffle. I can't understand it. I really can't. They're just silly toys.
Excuse me.
Juror number 3? Sorry to interrupt when you're obviously fuming, but...
What?
Do you perhaps have something to say about juror number 5's last remark? As if I couldn't guess.
Oh, you bet I do. Say that again. Go on, I dare you.
You double dare me. Goodness, are you talking to me?
There's gonna be a fight.
I think he just might be, yes.
A lady doesn't... Oh, sorry, I was gonna do a reference.
Okay, go ahead.
A lady doesn't start a fight, but she finishes it.
You think stereoscopes are just toys, do you? Huh?
Absolutely. I mean, really. A machine to view photographs in 3 dimensions. Why on earth would you just not use your eyes to look at the world around you? It's all 3-dimensional.
What a great way to appease the man.
No, I'm sorry. Stereoscopes are of no practical use at all.
You just don't know.
Pardon?
She's ahead of her time, dude.
I think you'll find that viewing a photograph through a stereoscope can unlock all sorts of possibilities. I'm obviously gonna have to demonstrate.
What sort of possibilities?
Well, take a crime scene, for example. If you had a pair of photographs from a crime scene that you could view through a stereoscope, it could reveal hidden clues you never even noticed before.
What?
Have you gotten any Runa? Any prayers that we could look at with the stereoscope?
Well, I would love to, but that's all the time that we're gonna have for tonight.
Oh.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah, so... Yeah, because we're hitting close to our 2-hour limit, so... That's all... We're gonna have to leave it on a cliffhanger.
Well then.
I'll be the roundabout.
Ooh, who are we gonna raid? Who are we gonna raid?
I was just thinking, do you have any photographs? Da-na-na-na-na-na-da-bam. To be Yeah, exactly. Oh, if only we can get that going on here.
That would be the most hilarious thing ever.
All right.
We'd probably do a low budget version of it with someone just screaming it into the mic.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. All right, so we're going to call it a night here, but when we do come back, we'll find out if we do have any more photographs that we can use for the stereoscope. So until then, enjoy your... Oh, no, it's not the major holidays yet, but we're just 1 week away from that, so get ready for a spaghetti recipe or a pasta recipe that I have, and I will read it out at the end of the show next time around. So until then, enjoy whatever you're eating this weekend, and
Stay healthy.
Stay healthy. Enjoy the rest of your week. Bye, everyone.
Bye.